that Sojourner fall away, but he's going to include that this time around. Maybe it could take a big knockout on a Pokemon like Giratina V-Star.
Looks like Isaiah is starting things off. Comfey in the active spot. That'll allow you to use flower selecting. Try to get things going, find that Colress's Experiment, maybe Battle VIP Pass.
Always nice to see that Comfey in the active spot. You're looking to get a few cards in the Lost Zone to start things off, and that's why you play additional copies there. We see that Giratina, likely V-Star, hitting the Lost Zone, and you're usually just trying to get a 2-2 line out. If you get the 1-1, honestly, that can be fine too with all the different attackers that you feature in a list like this.
It does take a lot for Noah to actually take a knockout on a V-Star Pokemon, requiring those single strike energies in combination with something like Tyranitar V or that single strike Urshifu VMAX. Isaiah now Nest Ball, able to search the deck for basic Pokemon, put it on your bench. It's going to take a little bit of time here to see what's prized.
Well, Jeremy, I didn't see any water energy in the prize cards, did you?
I did not, no.
Well, when you look through the deck list, you see one water energy in there. He can Rain Splash.
That's what it's there for.
This is truly the dehydrated Tina list, playing one water energy as a gimmick to bait your opponents into thinking that the Radiant Greninja is going to be there. It's not. It cannot attack.
It's when you're really thirsty, you go for the water bottle, and it's just like a drop comes out.
It's full of salt water.
Yeah.
This is completely useless, but sometimes you fake your opponent out, they play down that Manaphy, it's a wasted bench space, and it doesn't matter from that point. You've already gotten what you need out of that from your opponent, so we've seen this, I think it was featured at the World Championships, just a one-of copy, and I guess I say is drinking the punch.
There's not much of it left, though.
That's true. There's only one drop.
Nest Ball does find a second Comfey here. And there we see Grass to retreat. Another decision off this flower selecting. Roxanne going to the Lost Zone. Does play two copies, though, so it won't be too bad.
Yeah, that is something we've seen featured a lot more. Originally, we saw players focused on the one Iono, one Roxanne, and Isaiah understands a lot of matchups do go to the late game, so actually featuring two copies of Roxanne and one copy of Iono. After you use Colress on the first two turns, I mean, honestly, with the use of the Comfeys, potentially using Abyss Seeking from the Giratina, you're going to get to 10 in the Lost Zone. And then those supporters are just free game to help out, potentially locking your opponent out of weird situations at the end.
Most of the time when we see a Lost Zone box deck that isn't focused around Giratina, you just want to use Colress's Experiment every turn, get your deck thinned out as much as possible so you don't lose to something like a Roxanne or a Iono. Even earlier last round, trying to get that Kyogre with that Aqua Storm. This, not so much. Like you said, two Colress's Experiments, a couple flower selectings, you get that 10 in the Lost Zone. That's all you really need. Yep. Okay. Oh, Ultra Ball double Archeops. That's how you draw it up.
That is definitely how we like it. Very nice start there with the Ultra Ball. Get both of those Pokemon into the discard pile. You don't have much you need to do from this point. We talked about the Professor Burnett in the prize cards. Who cares?
Yeah.
You've already accomplished the goal. Now you just need to avoid Path. You've already done that because he prized them both. And now you just need to evolve, and you're chilling.
Noah looking through the deck now, checking what is prized. And grab nothing? Okay, there we go.
Did I miss it?
To grab the Lugia V off that Ultra Ball. You want to have two of those down just in case Isaiah has a stellar turn of get to 7 Mirage Gate, take the knockout.
Just in case.
Just in case.
That is going to happen. Have you seen the hand? Double Colress Experiment over there on the other side. Noah throwing away 2 of those single strike energies. Sometimes that looks dangerous. Don't worry. He's got that Urn of Vitality in the deck list, so should be able to find those later on when he needs them. Oh, this hand's...
Can we have the other hand back?
This hand's interesting. At least there is that Lumineon as a bailout button for next turn, but I think the work's already done here. Maybe throw away one final Archeops. Try to get 3 of them out if no one's looking.
Spirit of the game, Kyle. Come on.
I like to win, Jeremy.
Nest Ball is going to fetch that Tyranitar V. The big hitter in the deck now that you don't have access to something like a powerful colorless energy of previous iterations of Lugia.
Yeah, we've seen the single strike variant against the colorless variant and how they play differently against other decks. This is one thing that Noah's really going to like as a benefit. Those single strike energies on the Tyranitar V add up pretty nicely. You only need 2 of those if you want to take a knockout on a Pokemon like Giratina V-Star.
Read the Wind ends the turn for Noah. Does find Capturing Aroma and Mezagoza. 2 coin flips that could probably get that Lugia V-Star for the next turn. Meanwhile, Isaiah has one of those 2 Colossus Experiment in hand, like you said, and is making a decision on what to Lost Zone here out of these 5 cards.
We've seen sometimes players incorporating Lost Vacuum into the list. This was something that he tested diligently. He's decided to go against that. So if we want to see the Mirage Gate this turn, it's going to also include a 3rd Comfey. There is a Jet Energy in hand, so that makes things a little easier if you do decide to go with that on the Colress Experiment, and that is going to be selected along with Mirage Gate. So Isaiah does have the pieces if he can find that final Comfey and maybe an evolution here and there.
Flower Selecting gets rid of that Iono. Jet Energy will bring up the Comfey from the bench to the active spot, and another Flower Selecting, so now there's 5. And he does have that Cramorant, so if anything, we'll be able to at least get some damage on the board this turn. Not what you're really wanting to hope for, though. No, there's 6 in the Lost Zone, sorry.
A little short there. The 3rd Comfey, nowhere to be found. So it's like retreat into the Cramorant's going to be the play. You do have the hit points on that Giratina V-Star, but you talk about dangerous. If you lose that Pokemon here and now, it could be over.
It's going to have to rely on some flips, though. Capturing Aroma, flip a coin. If heads, search your deck for an evolution. Tails, search your deck for a basic. And there is the heads. Lugia V-Star ready to come on out and bring a couple friends.
Sometimes when you're watching that card, you don't know what your opponent wants. I think we knew what he wanted there. Heads absolutely crucial finding that Lugia V-Star. Already both Archeops in the discard pile. Lumineon in the hand to find that supporter card to help out. Are the pieces there potentially for a retreat? Tyranitar, Boss's Orders on a Giratina V-Star. We will have to see.
Would need to earn a Vitality in hand as well. Remember, 2 single strike energies being discarded.
No, we're good.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
We got him.
240. Base 240.
Yep, just looking for that energy to retreat if that is in hand, and we do see the V-Guard energy lined up. Lumineon V going to be wearing the suit, finding that Boss's Orders, and this is a dangerous turn.
The best Boss's Orders.
Incorrect, but it does the job, Jeremy.
I think Noah even has the collapsed stadium to get rid of this Lumineon after it's done its job. Energy from the hand to the active Lugia V-Star. First Primal Turbo, fetch out that single strike energy and gift energy. Second one's going to grab another single strike energy and V-Guard. And this game is looking scary.
Yep. This is very tough. Not finding that second Giratina V means that there's no real threat that you have on Isaiah's side of the board to counteract anything like this Tyranitar V. Your one hope, I guess, your opponent's going to be discarding a lot of cards off the top of their deck. Maybe they lose some valuable resources. Maybe it's all energies and urns of vitality, and you buy some turns and you don't have to worry about attacks ever again. Probably not, though, Jeremy.
No, we could just not play the Boss's Orders. That's the out.
Calm down. No way.
There we go. Collapse Stadium getting rid of Lumineon V. Boss's Orders up that Giratina V-Star. Tyranitar V, 280 damage. Double Turbo Energy gets discarded along with the Gift Energy.
2. It's not enough.
Not enough. And like you said, no Giratina V on the bench for Isaiah. That means no easy response to this Tyranitar V to get a knockout, and it's going to run wild.
Yep. This is where Isaiah is going to have to find something on his bench. He's going to have to establish that Giratina V. Maybe wait a turn, though. It's tricky because you're trying to incorporate that Cramorant into the math but also give your opponent one more prize card. Make that Roxanne the most important card in your deck next turn so that you have potential to take a big knockout on a Pokemon with energies, and maybe your opponent doesn't have a solution to the high hit points of a Giratina V-Star.
Flower selecting, Jet Energy, that means another flower selecting, and honestly, I think that's one of my favorite parts about a deck like Lost Zone Giratina is the utilization of Jet Energy with Comfey's.
Absolutely. If this deck, if Turbo, excuse me, was able to play like this, I feel like it would be one of the best decks. It just doesn't line up well because you can't incorporate these colorless energies. You need every typing possible. Giratina doesn't care. It plays a water energy because it feels like it. So clearly, these Jet Energies, 4 copies of them, are going to be very pivotal, letting Isaiah fly around the board, find the right pieces. Right now, it's just that Cramorant, but if he's holding on to Iono or Roxanne for the following turn, maybe he can get something working here.
Big thing for Noah next turn is going to be able to bump the Collapse Stadium with the Mezagoza in hand, maybe find that Radiant Serena to get some healing going from these Spit Innocent Leads that Isaiah is trying to put forth.
Yeah, it starts to get dangerous when you see the board space and the issues that you could run into, especially if your opponent is able to work in that hand disruption, finding the right answers, that second copy of Tyranitar V potentially if you're going to need a Pokemon like that, or the Luminion to find a supporter card to fix your hand. It gets really tricky, so we'll see how Noah wants to go about that as we see that Collapse Stadium.
Isaiah ending with just another Spit Innocently, 110 damage on that Tyranitar V, 110 damage on Lugia V-Star. Noah firmly in the driver's seat here. It's probably the least amount of cards I've seen a Lost Zone deck play in a few turns.
They're all in the Lost Zone,
Yeah.
unfortunately. Sometimes that's good news for Isaiah. Does lead to Sableye being active, but as you mentioned, that Radiant Serena is going to be so pivotal in a situation like this. Tyranitar with 11 counters on it means that it's only 12 damage counters away from being knocked out. Lines up really well with Sableye until you find the green girl. But not going to go ahead and do that. Yeah, it's what I was hinting at earlier with how important the bench space can be. And Noah's willing to lose this Pokemon here.
Isaiah is trying to remember what is in hand. There's so many cards that it's hard to remember what you're actually getting shuffled to the bottom of the deck.
Yeah, this speaks to all the percentages that Isaiah is working through as he's making moves. If he wants to shuffle the deck first, potentially use a card like Mezagoza to his benefit to shuffle the deck and see some of those resources that he had in the previous turn, or if you just want to draw off the top with that Comfey a few times as you've got some percentages on the top you might be looking for.
I think important to note here too is with both of the single strike energies in the discard for Noah, was really hoping to find an Urn of Vitality just so you can Cragalanche for the knockout. Wow.
How about those? Jeremy, 2 Urn of Vitality going to be lost there. That is brutal.
That's basically like discarding 4 energies.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And, I mean, how many are there? There's 1 left. You're going to have to make the most use of that at the perfect time if you want to use a Tyranitar once more. Problem for Isaiah, doesn't even have the Giratina V established.
Hey, it's all right. 12 damage counters left on that Tyranitar V. And that means Sableye coming in, cleaning things up. Could be a route to victory for Isaiah.
Yeah. Don't have the exact counts on what has hit the discard pile yet, but we have seen a few of them. Thank you, Noah, for sprinkling through. And it looks like 3 of those non-single strike energies, along with that gift energy and V-Guard there, and potentially 1 more in the prize cards. That means 3 feasible energies to work with for a Lugia attack. However, if they include double turbo in their name, you're not going to be taking a knockout on a Pokemon like this Giratina V. So perfectly timed here from Isaiah to bench this Pokemon now. And is this Shred?
Shred does get there.
I like Shred.
You're kind of safe. And if Noah does go for the knockout, it's going to be using the rest of the energies. It's definitely a little bit risky, but you got to play risky when you're down this much.
Right. If you don't have the resources for Sableye, go ahead and incorporate that Giratina into the strategy. It looks like the cards won't be there for Noah to take a knockout with a Pokemon like that Lugia V-Star on the following turn. Is that the second Giratina V-Star into the Lost Zone, however?
You don't need it. We're going shredding.
Woo! Evolving is overrated, just like Ash and Pikachu all those years. Nice.
If it ain't
Look at
broke,
that.
don't fix it. Roxanne coming down for Isaiah here. Doesn't need Colress anymore. 12 in the Lost Zone. Gonna look for 6 cards. Gonna push Noah down to 2. Still hasn't retreated yet, but still needs a lot of help. As it stands right now, no Mirage Gate in hand, so you won't be able to charge up that shred. No route to Sableye.
1/1 Lugia V-Star added to the hand of Noah. Not what you're looking for.
Not at this stage in the game.
Isaiah's still looking for a little help here. Looks like he has not found it just yet. Comfey trying to bail out. Mirage Gate would be ideal. I believe we've seen 2 of those already.
See a Sableye peeking out of that hand. There's a Psychic Energy as well.
Oh, I think he's run into that situation that so many Giratina V players hate, which is finding the escape rope in a situation where the Pokemon that you want to attack is already in the active. However, adding that Sableye means that if he can find the Psychic Energy in combination with that, still will be able to take the knockout on the Tyranitar V. Does have that energy.
No
but
switch
looks
out.
like there is no switch out.
That is not what Isaiah wanted to see here. Mezagoza gonna bail Noah out of this hand. Gonna be able to grab that Luminion, grab Radiant Serena, grab Tyranitar. A little bit of options here.
Wow, look at the energies completely depleted at this stage. It's just 2 double turbo energies.
That's definitely not gonna get there.
Looking at the Tyranitar V, of course, the Urn of Vitality would be so crucial there. The top deck for the turn was just the Urshifu V Max added.
Second Tyranitar V seems to be the card of choice. Still debating about it.
Oh, this is so tough.
There really is 3 good options you can grab here.
Yeah, the problem is even with the Tyranitar V, you don't take a knockout on a Giratina V-Star. You'll have 2 single strike energies, but the other energy would be the double turbo, dropping your damage down to 260. So instead now it's going to be the Radiant Serena healing off the Tyranitar V, making it so that the Sableye doesn't take that direct knockout onto the Tyranitar.
Healing off the 20 damage from both of your Pokemon is going to help mitigate the damage from Sableye. Discards Boss's Orders and a Psychic Energy off the top of the deck. That Psychic Energy actually could be pretty big.
Yeah, we've seen a few of those hit the discard pile already. Six 2 prize cards here in game 1. Isaiah trying to find the pieces. Already down 2 Roxanne, so Iono is a way to hand disrupt. However, you've already seen your opponent's hand. Looks pretty bad. Everything is on the line with this Tyranitar V, and we do see the Giratina V-Star added by way of Mezagoza. Star Requiem gets through that gift energy pretty nicely.
It definitely does, and Noah's really relying on that gift energy in case this Tyranitar V goes down. Colress's Experiment can grab Isaiah 3 more cards off the top of the deck.
Yep, Super Run combination with the Mirage Gate would be unbelievable in a situation like this.
Radiant Greninja and an unknown card we can't see. Flower selecting. Escape Rope going to the Lost Zone as well. Do we see Super Odd Mirage Gate? The switch, I can't.
The switch, not the switch card, the switch. And there is that Psychic Energy. Giratina V-Star lined up to use that V-Star attack.
That is that last Psychic Energy in the deck as well.
Big
Star Requiem
knockout there. Takes this Pokemon out of play, goes through all effects there, so not going to see that gift energy activated. No additional cards here for Noah. He knows he has 2 energies left in the deck, has to decide how to go about this. This is tough.
still has a boss's orders in the prize cards, but a simple double boss 2 turns in a row can take the win.
I think at this point you're focused on single boss. You've already seen the 2 Giratina V-Star into the lost zone, so there's that one target there in the Giratina V with 220 hit points. If you can find a turn where Mezagoza is able to flip heads, find that Tyranitar, add that to the bench, include that Urn of Vitality, you can set that Pokemon up to deal 260 damage with the boss's orders and take the knockout for the game. You have to think about how many attacks you can realistically get off in a point like this. Even attaching 2 energies to that Lugia V-Star on the bench will not be safe, as Lost Impact just knocks this Pokemon out.
To be fair, though, Noah did grab the last V-Guard energy from the prize cards. That could throw a wrench into things, preventing 30 damage from that Giratina.
Yeah, that's a big point. We've seen lists previously in this matchup have the Temple of Sinnoh as an answer to that card, maybe that Choice Belt as well. Isaiah does not feature either of those cards.
Noah just doesn't do anything, passes the turn, needs to save those energies for maybe that big one-hit knockout with the Tyranitar V, like you were saying.
Yeah, I think even a switching effect in this situation would be unreal, just to incorporate the Sableye into the mix, place damage onto the other Lugia V-Star, and avoid that V-Guard awkwardness that we expect to see in the coming turns. But you still need to put pressure on Noah at a stage like this. Every turn, he's getting closer to drawing the right Pokemon with the Mezagoza flip, or finding the right cards off the top of the deck in that Urn of Vitality.
Deep in the tank here. Going to start things off, Mezagoza.
I can almost guarantee he does not care. As we see.
2 Mirage Gate.
Yeah, and the Pokegear for nothing.
Honestly, there's 1 card in there that could come up huge.
Oh, he does play the Temple!
The Temple of Sinnoh.
I thought he cut it. Very nice. Yeah, that's such a big addition. It makes so much sense, too. I was talking to you earlier about including the Drapion V in this list. You can't play it unless you have a counter stadium to your own Path to the Peak. He does include that Temple there. Love this from Isaiah. Could really come in clutch at the right time.
No cutting here. We're going all bulk. 3rd energy on that Giratina V-Star. Will allow Isaiah to take the knockout, but again, every time you use that Lost Impact, you're getting rid of 2 energies to the Lost Zone. Your resources dwindle.
Difficult decision here. Of course, knockout easily lined up here, but you would lose those energies that you want to have access to. So Super Rod looks to be the play here to get some additional energies lined up. Go back-to-back knockouts with Lost Impact. You have that Temple of Sinnoh that you can potentially draw into. Work your way through that V-Guard energy. Would be no sweat there.
Oh, wow.
And Isaiah understands the assignment. He's going to lose that energy, the grass on the Giratina V-Star, the Psychic on the Sableye, and he's just going to draw the rest of his deck next turn to go energy, Temple of Sinnoh, knockout Lugia V-Star.
Only putting 1 Psychic back with that Super Rod. That's all you need, though. Lost Impact takes the knockout. Noah trying to figure out something. Professor's Research off the top of the deck.
Said, let me look at your discard pile, you crazy man. You only grabbed 1 energy. What is your plan?
To draw that energy.
Easy.
As it goes, Tails. You do see that V-Guard energy. Along with the boss's orders, do we just boss the Giratina V, put some damage on it, and pray?
Could certainly be a line that you go with at a stage like this. If you've counted all of the switching effects, maybe there's not 1 left, but there's still plenty of cards left over for Isaiah.
Quadruple turbo on this Lugia V-Star. Not normally seen in this format, but when everything's kind of discarded, you got to do what you got to do.
Yep. The energies just aren't there. This is so different from Lugia of old that would shuffle energies back in with Luminion.
Oh, wow. Professor's Research discards the boss's orders in the hand.
At this point, what can you even find? You have every energy lost. You found Tyranitar and the Urn of Vitality, but those energies don't do anything anymore. You have no energies remaining unless there's an energy left in the prize cards that would help out, but it's not there.
It's not there at all. Urn of Vitality, shuffle back those 2 single strike energies. Noah can choose to grab him with the second Primal Turbo if he wants. Does have a Counter Stadium and the Mezagoza for something like that Temple of Sinnoh.
This is as helpful as that water energy on the other side.
Isaiah has the Jet Energy, Boss's orders, brings up that Tyranitar V. Noah giving the game to Isaiah in this game 1, just over half of the time gone for that insane back and forth game.
Unreal, the 6-2 comeback we see there for Isaiah Bradner, finding that Roxanne at the perfect time, able to take a knockout with his Star Requiem against that Tyranitar. And it really goes to show, as important as that Tyranitar is, taking those knockouts, there's backlash. Losing those 4 cards off the top twice really hindered anything that Noah was able to accomplish. Had no more attackers left when it mattered most.
2 energy the first time, and then the 2 Urn of Vitality the second time. Proved doom for Noah in that game 1. Isaiah able to close it out with that last Boss's orders, after getting 1 discarded from Cragalanche early on.
Yeah, surprised to see in this list, Isaiah's gone back to the old school list. This is very reminiscent of what I brought to NAIC, where we really wanted to focus on having a lot of play back and forth. It helps so much in matchups like this, and he really had a strong read of what he was going to see here. Lugia, one of the most prominent decks. You need to have Paths to the Peak. You need to have Temple of Sinnoh. And of course, having that V-Star on that Giratina V-Star helps so much right here, taking the big knockout on that Tyranitar, not activating the Gift Energy. Would have had the Temple of Sinnoh for another, but Noah didn't even have the energies to come back here.
Just like that, Isaiah taking game 1, 1 game away from a record of 10-0-4, 34 match points. Would need to ID next round for a potential top 8, win guarantee top 8. And that is for both of these players.
Yeah, so much on the line for both these players. Fantastic in their own right, but they're looking to build on what they did last year with the second at Fort Wayne for Noah, the second at Orlando for Isaiah. Both seen a lot of Lugia, and Isaiah this time thinks he has the upper hand, built in with a couple additional cards to help out. Maybe we'll see that once more here in game 2.
Taking a look at the prize cards, double Nest Ball Battle VIP Pass for Isaiah, double Archeops, Tyranitar, and a couple energies. Okay, Noah, that's not what you want to see.
Not good. Oh, that's not your favorite either. That's going to be Single Strike Urshifu V starting things off there.
Yeah, I like Rapid Strike better.
That one's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Not in this deck, though. I have not tried that one yet. I have seen the Meloetta version of Lugia. That thing was awful.
Ultra Ball discarding Professor Burnett, and then a choice here. Looks like Boss's orders.
I got really scared there seeing the Burnett go down, but there is a second one in the hand, thankfully. When you look through the deck and you see that 2 Archeops are in the prize cards, finding those 2 for the discard pile, it's going to be that much more difficult. He's already got it.
Good old Professor putting in work. Oh, where are my Archeops? Oh.
I'm not seeing them, Chief. Let's just shuffle up. Did not get a peek at the rest of the hand. However, when you do have that Professor Burnett already lined up, Lugia V-Star would be ideal. Maybe there was an Ultra Ball in that hand, but you lose a lot of resources trying to discard those cards, and maybe there wouldn't even be a supporter for next turn. Isaiah's like, oh, that's it? I like that.
Nest Ball, the card drawn for the turn for Isaiah, has what looks like a Battle VIP Pass in hand.
He's going back to the Taylor Swift concert. He wore a ridiculous hat to that concert. I suggest he burns it.
That's saying something, because those concerts are hard to get into.
Yeah, and to make that wardrobe decision of all, yikes.
Well, talking about decisions, we're going to see what is prized and not really have to worry about it too much. I guess the Roxanne and Mirage Gate after this Battle VIP Pass is going to be the important cards that you're missing.
Yep, that water energy there. Thank goodness.
Whew.
Yeah, you see what a great opener there to have that Battle VIP Pass. If you have the jet energy, then you can really make magic happen here. And with slow start like this, I don't know what to read of Noah's hand. He threw away Professor Burnett, used an Ultra Ball for a basic Pokemon. Maybe this is one of those Abyss-seeking turns.
Definitely helps you bridge the gap into a turn 2 Star Requiem or Lost Mine. Really just helping you dig further. And here we see 3 Comfey. I think we're going to see a Jet Energy. Oh, and another Battle VIP Pass. Talk about running hot.
You can invite a friend.
Does he have 2 hats?
I hope not.
Oh, no.
Yeah, this will be very telling of what Isaiah wants to do here, and he's going to include that Giratina V into the mix early. Of course, threatening the turn 2 is going to be important. Sometimes players want to incorporate that Radiant Greninja into the mix to draw additional cards. This time we see the second Giratina V, so if the energies are available, one of these Pokemon could use Abyss Seeking, get those additional cards into the Lost Zone, a few into the hand as well. And then you have the backup plan if Noah does have the right resources to take that turn 2 knockout.
After 2 Battle VIP Pass, there's 3 Comfey, 2 Giratina V, a full house for Isaiah on the field. Flower Selecting going to look at the top 2. Get rid of that water.
Woo! Moral victory.
That must be the easiest thing to get rid of after turn 1 Battle VIP Pass.
Right. Well, still eyeing up the jet energy there. Instead, it's going to go onto the Comfey. This is a safer line, of course, but this does include the energy for the turn. No Abyss Seeking, but you get to retreat. Include that third Comfey into the mix. 3 cards into the Lost Zone with the double Giratina V on the bench. Doesn't get more comfortable than that.
It's still one of my favorite plays you can make in the standard format here. Just being able to get such value out of a single energy card in a deck where you need to build up that Lost Zone as fast as you can.
Absolutely. We see this time and time again when the going gets tough, when you get into turn 3, 4, 5. There's always switching effects on the other side for that Lost Tina player, and it's because they're not using those resources in these stages of the game. They have that jet energy to bounce around. And with this Nest Ball, we'll see one more Pokemon included into the mix. Is Cramorant going to make its way onto the board here early?
It's either Cramorant or Radiant Greninja. I think we're 1 short from Lost Provisions being active for this Cramorant. Still has not seen a Colossus Experiment yet. Do you think it's in hand?
Could potentially still be there, thinning out this Pokemon, adding it to the bench, and then you don't have to worry about drawing into that card. It would be a pretty unbelievable start here for Isaiah, but go ahead. As he adds 2 more cards into the Lost Zone, 3 to the hand, and a switching effect would lead to some pretty relevant damage on the active Pokemon too.
Battle VIP Pass and Pokegear 3.0 are hitting the Lost Zone. Don't need those anymore.
No.
Path to the Peak as well, and Isaiah has found literally everything you'd ever want.
Oh, there's an escape rope in the hand to attack into the Lugia if you want. However, you can pass the turn and maybe get the knockout on the V-Star or something very relevant too. So it's going to hold on to that resource. Noah, thankfully, with that counter stadium there in the collapsed and adding that Lugia to the hand, has the Burnett as well.
This is everything. No
but that's
cards in hand. Noah has that Professor Burnett. Summoning Star gets both the Archeops in play. Now you just have to rely off the top of your deck and the prize cards to try to draw out of this. But you have as many energy as you want.
Jeremy, I'm not reading that card. I'm not doing it. I know it's a knockout.
It does more than enough damage. Impact blow, 180 damage. Can't use it during the next turn.
Yep. Thankfully, in all of my testing with Lugia, I've never had to attack with this single striker Urshifu V. And that's because It shouldn't attack, but here we are. This is a problem that you run into with Lugia decks that don't include the jet energy. Sometimes you get stuck with weird Pokemon in the active spot, and you have to work with what you got.
Can't always get what you want, but Noah at least taking a prize card here to start things off in the face of Isaiah's insane turn 1 and starting off a turn 2 with another Colress's Experiment.
I mean, what a find here. Also, another Colress found there.
Mirage Gate as well.
Roxanne included in this really tough decision here for Isaiah. How do you go about this? Of course, you're going to lead into 7 cards in the Lost Zone here with this decision, opening up the Mirage Gate. Find some of those energies. Looks like it's not in hand already, or does not have the attacker that he's looking for, as we see that Comfey. Look at 2 more cards.
Switch card going to the Lost Zone off that Flower selecting. Isaiah has that Radiant Greninja, so it can seal the cards, can draw a couple more. Maybe you can Mirage Gate to that and charge up Moonlight Shuriken, right? Right?
Right?
Right?
He's only down 1 water.
Yeah.
I think no one knows. I think when your opponent gets down to 4 cards in their deck, you've got an idea of what's going on there.
No.
No preemptive Radiant Serena this time to protect the Archeops. And now...
All we're missing the V-Star?
I mean, I haven't seen the Mirage Gate either, but
Oh,
Isaiah's done a great job of protecting this hand. I think I see the V-Star in there.
Keeping it close to the chest. Psychic Energy on Giratina V almost. Jet Energy on the Comfey. Instead, Flower selecting yet again. Lost
Really
the Cramorant.
bulking up this Lost Zone now. 9 cards in the Lost Zone. Giratina V-Star added to the board, so the threat is active as long as we see that Mirage Gate ready to roll. But it's not there yet. It's going to be a pass of the turn, very slow here. But Noah only has 2 cards in hand, and the more that you shuffle them together, the less they're going to help.
No, they change, right?
He's not a magician. He's a volunteer.
Oh, I get that. Nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, Tennessee.
Yes.
Go Vols. Primal Turbo charging up that Lugia V-Star on the bench. Now 2 attackers going up, but remember, that single strike Urshifu V cannot attack this turn thanks to Impact Blow. Forced to retreat those single strike energies off. Granted, you can get them back with the Urn later on if you don't discard them.
If you don't lose all 3 of them. And you already see plenty of those energies that you use for Lugia in play. 1 gift energy there on the Urshifu. 3 on this Lugia ready to roll by way of the double turbo energy. It's going to be a knockout here. Lose the Collapse Stadium. Isaiah, 9 cards in the Lost Zone, definitely has some answers here if he ever finds that really cool accelerating energy item.
I was like, where are you going with this? Comfey to the active spot. 1 flower selecting away from getting to 10 in the Lost Zone to turn on that Star Requiem from Giratina V-Star. And I think that's what Isaiah's kind of forced Noah to walk into.
Big find there. Loses the Psychic Energy. In return, rewarded with the Mirage Gate. Comfey in the active will lead to the 10th card in the Lost Zone. I believe we did see that Colress added to the hand too last turn. So plenty of cards to be found here. Isaiah now just needs to make a decision of if you want to potentially dig for a card like that Temple of Sinnoh, play that early, and then you'll have access to Star Requiem later on. If you want to go ahead and cash in on using your V-Star attack here. Some tough decisions to make.
I like cashing in.
You get to hold those energies on the board. Yep. Of course, not losing them to Lost Impact. Looks like there isn't a threat that can really handle this Pokemon with 280 hit points just yet. And knowing that 2 energies of the single strike variant are already in the discard pile really helps out with that Urshifu V, potential V Max not being a threat.
Mirage Gate for Isaiah grabs Psychic Energy and Grass Energy. Charges up that Giratina V-Star, so Star Requiem is available. All you need is a switch cart. Gonna start things off with a Colress's experiment, though.
This will be the magic number for Sableye and Giratina V-Star.
11?
Yeah, it's you just gotta be careful. Just in case you miscount, just get an extra one in there.
Couple energy Mirage Gate Giratina V-Star.
Whoa, the embarrassment of riches once more, but it's not where you want to see it.
Jet Energy is actually perfect for that Giratina V-Star to bring it up without having to waste a switch card.
Down goes the 1/1 V-Star piece. Looks like Star Requiem would line up fantastic here. Avoid that gift energy activating. Has the second Giratina V-Star ready to roll in case anything happens on the other side. We know with Archeops, so often your opponent can surprise you with a big attack. But Noah does not have the cards in hand to get the job done. Needs that activation of the gift energy. And Isaiah understands this. He's going to deny that as much as possible.
Psychic Energy on that bench Giratina V-Star to have a chance to power it up just in case something like Single Strike or Shvu VMAX hits the board with an Urn of Vitality to try to take a big knockout. But speaking of big knockout, Star Requiem taking down that Lugia V-Star. Like you said, no gift, no V-Guard energy.
Well, we might have to wish upon a fish. Ultra Ball in hand, 4 cards left. Finds that other Single Strike energy. I think we're going to lose the whole hand here. Find that Luminion and try to find a supporter card to get out of this situation. However, you're just adding more fuel there. Is the Luminion even there? Okay, good.
Whew, with the 2 of them?
I was worried. Thankfully, it is there. That would lead to the professor's research to draw. But you got to find that Urn of Vitality, evolution as well.
Luminous Sign will search for that professor's research. I think there is a Single Strike energy in hand, maybe?
Yeah, I mean, reasonable debate here from Noah. Thinking about working in the Primal Turbo early, there is that one Single Strike energy that's in the deck right now. You could fish that out and then attach for the turn. And then you're just looking for that Urn of Vitality. You've thinned out some energies, but feels comfortable playing this one down and using the research. Hopefully this does not lead to some awkward draws. Would love to find that Urn of Vitality right here, right now.
7 cards off the top of the deck. No Urn of Vitality at all. Capturing Aroma, Ultra Ball. So would have had that Single Strike or Shvu VMAX. But as it stands now, no attack available for Noah.
It's brutal and unable to find that. You do have access to the Impact Blow if you want to get some damage onto this Pokemon. However, evolving, it requires 3 of those Single Strike energies if you want to take that big knockout. And with 2 already lost with that early retreat of the Impact Blow, it's not going to lead to the right pieces here.
Even with just the 1 Single Strike energy in the deck, you're doing 220 damage. That's not enough. This basic Single Strike or Shvu V. Capturing Aroma with the heads does find the VMAX though. And I guess you do have more HP.
HP is cool, especially when you've seen your opponent use that Star Requiem. It means that the knockout is unavailable at this point. Damage could be relevant, but Noah does play some options. He has that Collapse Stadium. I think we did see that early, however, and it is just the 1 copy, so damage would be sticking around. Sableye licking his chops.
Why would Sableye lick the Archeops?
No, not that chops. There's so many teeth in the TCG.
I mean, Sableye usually goes for what, like gems and crystals, right? Not prehistoric birds.
That's fair. I mean, you could get confused.
140 damage on that Giratina V-Star thanks to Beatdown from that Single Strike or Shvu VMAX.
I feel like Beatdown should be a lot stronger. It sounds really strong, but that's not enough.
Especially if you're staring down that VMAX.
If that guy beat down, that sounds terrifying. I should absolutely be knocked out.
It's not one blow, though.
That's true. G Max. Isaiah has so many options here. I believe there's a boss's orders in hand too. If you want to just steal prize cards off the Luminion V, you could ignore the threat of the Urshifu V Max and attack Archeops if you want to. You can do so many different things here in this situation, but honestly, the best answer could just be attack into this Pokemon, deal 280 while you can. Your opponent would go down a little lower in prize cards, and then Sableye in combination with an Iono or a Roxanne could be devastating.
We do know Isaiah most likely has all of that available to him. The hand is massive, 20 cards or so.
Oh, yeah, they were last.
Nestball does find a second Comfey. Thin the deck out a little bit more. There is, what, one Mirage Gate left? No energy.
Yeah, I believe there was the Mirage in hand. However, just so many of the energies have already been played. They're stuck in the hand or they're in the lost zone. Just the Jet energy to fulfill that colorless attachment there for the Lost Impact. Always downloading information as Isaiah wants to know exactly how many resources are left. Sees so many of those energy cards could potentially be gone. However, Urn of Vitality could be fantastic here for Noah later on.
I like removing the Psychic just because the grass has already been in the Lost Zone. You might need that one with the Super Rod.
And actually unseen there in the Lost Zone, there's a second grass energy above the Giratina V, so 2 of those of the 4 are lost.
Noah now tons of damage on that single strike Urshifu VMAX. Has Tyranitar V finally. And Primal Turbo is going to search the deck. Oh, look at that. No energy at all. Shades of game 1 already, but in a much worse position here.
Yeah, 3 energies in hand. Not where you want to see those. No Iona as well to help out and put those on the bottom of the deck and then draw into them with Primal Turbo. Instead, the only supporter in hand it looked like was Research. You can't discard these energies. Jeremy, going into this tournament, how many energies would you play in a Lugia deck?
14, 15?
I feel like 15 is the answer that a lot of players go to. It's 13 energies here, and we're really seeing the impact for Noah with the awkward draws.
Finds a Lugia V-Star off that Capturing Aroma heads. Has Ultra Ball, but Ultra Ball's going to discard one of these energies. You're already attached for the turn. There's Urn of Vitality left in the deck, but just take the knockout and hope you can draw into something next turn because, wow.
I mean, there is a world where Noah is able to find the right pieces. Isaiah can do a lot of great things to avoid this. Has the Sableye, can incorporate that into taking the knockout here on the Single Strike Urshifu VMAX, and then just trying to dodge Urn of Vitality and that boss's orders for the knockout on that Giratina V-Star. If you're able to limit the hand size here with a Roxanne, you can certainly make the most of that.
Psychic Energy for that Sableye. Isaiah now can Lost Mind. Take the knockout, like you said, on that active. Spread some damage to where you can set up kind of a checkmate scenario next turn.
Isaiah all the way down to 4 cards left in deck. Really gets to play with all 60 cards, feels like, when we watch him play.
One thing I really want to mention too, a minute left in the round here. A tie for both of these players is essentially a loss. Would not let them make top 8, even with one more round left. It does matter for top 16, top 32, that prize money there. And that's honestly what I thought would affect more of these decisions as we go later on, like gentlemen's agreements and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, double-edged sword here. Iono going to put those energies on the bottom of the deck for Noah, exactly where he wants to see those. But the Temple of Sinnoh is played down, shutting off that gift energy, shutting off that V-Guard energy, really limiting the attack power for Noah if he's unable to find a stadium bump.
So far, these gift energies for Noah have been socks. Every time.
Some people like socks, Jeremy.
Show them to me.
Well, next time we get into the lounge, I will show you. I've got quite a collection. Sableye adding another Pokemon to their collection. Big knockout lined up on that Urshifu V Max for 3 prize cards. Isaiah just 1 prize away from winning this series.
Do you just put the damage on Archeops? That way you can maybe Sableye also clean up later?
I love that, and looks like that is going to be the line. You could also remove it with Moonlight Shuriken.
That is true.
Really tough here for Noah. He found a supporter, but it was that Professor's Research. It looks like in order to win a game like this, you would need Boss's Orders and the Urn of Vitality right here, right now.
That's 2 cards. You only draw 1 card for your turn.
Oh, he found the Boss's Orders! If any of those turns, from turn 2 until now, if he could have found some help with finding that Urn of Vitality, this could have been a closeout draw. Actually, I don't even know. Well, yeah, the energies were added back in with the Iono, but Noah is going to take a look. See 3 energies, not named Single Strike.
So far, those Urn of Vitality have been holding Noah's top 8 dreams. Double Turbo. Gift Energy found off that Primal Turbo. Or not.
Can I...
Can I deck you out?
No. You couldn't even Craglanch if you wanted to. You'd have to use the Professor's Research to draw through and find the Urn of Vitality. And then you're just knocking out a Sableye. Checkmate established from Isaiah on the previous turn with those energies on the Giratina V-Star. I think at this point for Isaiah, you really just want to see the supporter of choice for the turn.
Do you just fake him out and play Boss's Orders on the Giratina V-Star?
then reach for your discard pile so quickly and move the energies?
Oh, there we go. Noah conceding the game. Did not see a route to victory there. And Isaiah Bradner, 10-0 for 34 match points, hoping to make it into the top 8, pending the results of the next round.
Yeah, talk about winning a game before it even happens. This is all about Isaiah focused on the deck list, trying to find the right pieces. I feel like he had a really strong metagame read, understood that Mew VMAX, Lugia V-Star were going to be very prominent decks, and everything else maybe you can figure out with Star Requiem, Lost Impact, and certainly it worked out right there. Was able to play some really clutch cards, work in that Star Requiem, and find a great moment for that Temple of Sinnoh. Avoid that gift energy and take a big 2-0 victory here to get to 34 match points.
There's a reason this Lost Zone Giratina deck was the most played deck in day 1 and has been seeing an all-right conversion rate into day 2. No,
I don't think so. I expect so much from this deck, and it really just, I think it just has to be in the right hands. Honestly, we've seen a lot of play from it, and sometimes it's about putting in the work, understanding the matchups. When you see that opening bench and how players line it up, it depends so much on the matchup, which Pokemon that you need to go for. And Isaiah had a full understanding of this, went very aggressive, all the Comfeys, all the Giratina in the world ready to roll. And in game 2, was really able to flood the Lost Zone and get to a spot where he could use that Star Requiem early, then had the Sableye to take a big knockout here. Noah, no energies left once again, 2 games in a row. And that's kind of just how things work here for Lugia V-Star decks.